Good evening. I'm going to talk about the terror attacks that ravaged Mumbai with the Rude Awakening. On November 26, 2008, the world watched in horror as the most significant terrorist attack since 9/11 flickered across the television screens. A handful of lightly armed men with little training were able to throw one of the world's largest and greatest cities, Mumbai, India, into total chaos. The Mumbai attacks were planned and directed by Lashkar-e-Taliban militants and carried out by 10 young men trained and sent to Mumbai, directed from inside Pakistan via mobile devices and VoIPs. Coordinated groups of gunmen shot and blasted their ways through tourist sites and the Indian financial market that evening. According to India TV, this act of cruelty killed at least 164 people and wounded 600 others, while apparently trying to target American and British citizens to use as hostages. So when did this terrorist attack occur in Mumbai? To answer this question, I did some research, and as I did this research, I discovered three major targeted areas, which were the tourist-attracted hotels, the police headquarters, and the railway station. So now, let's examine one of the target areas, which were the hotels. The attackers swept through two of the luxury hotels favored by foreigners in Mumbai, the Taj Mahal Palace and the Oberoi Hotel. So let me show you. This was the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, and as you can see, this was the Oberoi Hotel. Both of these hotels sit on the landmark of India's waterfront. Now, these gunmen were firing automatic weapons, throwing grenades, and sending panicked guests scrambling for safety. Some guests were in fact trapped for hours, even as a series of explosions set fire to the Taj Mahal Hotel. So now, the second targeted area, which was the police headquarters on the south side of Mumbai, where some officers were pinned down by gunfire. So let me show you that before this attack occurred, this is where the police department was, as these officers are sitting waiting for a call of duty, as you can see. Now, the victims at this police department included Mumbai's anti-terrorism chief, Hemant Kankare, and two of his senior police officers, which complicated the law enforcement response to the attacks. In fact, the television showed that Kankare donning a flak jacket and helmet minutes before entering into one of these hotels that we just saw. So now, let's examine the third target area, the Chhatrapati Shivaji Temple railway station. And the railway station in India, which is in Bombay, is one of the busiest and highly concentrated level of human beings, because they use and rely on this transit the most in India, is the railway station in Mumbai. As you can see, it's huge. According to Economic Times of India, the railway station was attacked by two gunmen, one of whom was Ajab Kasab, who was later caught alive by the police and identified by eyewitnesses. Research by the News International stated that the attacks began around 9:30 at night, where the two men entered the passenger halls and opened fire using A147 rifles. Now, the attackers killed 59 people and injured 104 others, and their assault ended at 10:45 p.m. that night. Security forces and emergency services arrived shortly thereafter. The two gunmen fled the scene and started firing at the pedestrians and the officers in the streets, killing at least 8 officers. The attackers then headed towards Kama Hospital with an intention to kill all the patients at the hospital. However, the hospital staff had heard about these terrorist attacks going on, so they locked the entire patient ward, according to the News International research. So now, let's summarize. Mumbai is no stranger to terrorist attacks. Previous terrorist attacks have mostly involved bombs left in places such as marketplaces and the parks, causing indiscriminate casualties. In sharp contrast, the Mumbai terrorist attacks of 2008 were a brazen frontal assault using automatic weapons targeting major hotels, police headquarters, and the railway stations. The enemy of all terrorists is moderation, said Bruce Hoffman, a professor with Georgetown University's Security Studies program in Washington. Tensions stroked like communal violence between Indian Hindus and Muslims in 1992 and 1993 have never really fully abated. As a result, India has highly professional anti-terrorism organizations. But the loss of Kakari, Mumbai's chief anti-terrorism officer, and his 2 senior aides will greatly weaken the city's anti-terrorist squads. Thank you.